You walk into the tool aisle, you grab the drill with the best-looking box, and you just paid double for the exact same motor that's sitting on the shelf 2 feet away, under a different name. That's not an exaggeration. That's how the tool industry actually works in 2026. And if you're a homeowner buying tools for a renovation, you're the exact person these companies are counting on to not know that. So before you spend another dime at the big box store, stick around because I'm going to walk you through 6 of the biggest so-called American tool brands, show you where your money is really going, and tell you which one is still actually playing it straight. Hit subscribe before we begin, because this channel exists to save you from expensive mistakes. I'm Jerry Davis, and after a few decades on job sites, I've bought, broken, warrantied, and thrown across the driveway just about every tool brand you can name. I've watched apprentices blow their first paycheck on the wrong platform. And I've watched guys do finish carpentry for 30 years with tools that cost half as much. So this isn't a spec sheet video. This is what the marketing department doesn't put on the box. Let's start with DeWalt, because that yellow and black is basically the official uniform of every job site in America. Here's what people usually do. They see DeWalt, they think rugged, American, professional, and they pay the premium without blinking. And I get it. That reputation was earned. The problem is, who's cashing the check? DeWalt is owned by Stanley Black & Decker, the same conglomerate that owns Craftsman, Porter Cable, and yes, Black & Decker, the brand everybody makes fun of at the bottom shelf. Same parent, different paint. And read the fine print on that yellow box. It says, built in the USA with global materials, which means assembled here from parts made overseas. That's not a crime, but it's not what the flag on the display is selling you. Where they really get you is the batteries. The tool goes on sale for $100 and looks like a steal. Then the replacement 5 amp hour battery runs you nearly the same as the tool did. That's the razor and blades game. The tool is the razor. You're buying blades for the next 15 years. What to do instead? Buy DeWalt when the tool itself earns it, like their miter saws and their 20-volt drills, which are genuinely good. But buy the kit with 2 batteries during the holiday promos, never the bare tool at full price, and never a lone battery at the register. Trust me, this matters more than the tool choice itself. Now, Craftsman, and this one actually hurts. Here's what people usually do. Your dad had Craftsman, your grandfather had Craftsman. So you see the name at Lowe's and you buy it out of pure muscle memory. But here's the problem. The Craftsman your grandfather owned was a Sears brand with a walk-in, no receipt, lifetime hand tool warranty, and a lot of it was forged right here. Sears collapsed, Stanley Black & Decker bought the name in 2017, and what you're buying today is the sticker, not the company. The ratchets are thinner. A lot of production went overseas, and that famous warranty is now a process with steps instead of a handshake. I've had homeowners show me a stripped Craftsman ratchet from 2023 sitting next to one from 1985 that still clicks like a bank vault. Same logo, not the same tool. What to do instead? If you want the old Craftsman experience, hit estate sales and buy the vintage stuff. It's cheap and it's better. If you're buying new hand tools, this is where people mess up by paying for nostalgia instead of steel. Spend the same money on something that's still made like it matters. And I'll get to who that is. Third, Milwaukee. And yes, I know some of you are going to disagree, because Milwaukee guys defend that red like it's a football team. Let me be clear. Milwaukee makes excellent tools. Their M18 fuel line is legitimately top of the market. But American? Milwaukee is owned by Tektronic Industries, TTI, headquartered in Hong Kong. The name on the tool is a city in Wisconsin, and that's roughly where the American part ends for most of the lineup. Here's where it gets interesting though. TTI also owns Ryobi. So the same company selling you a $250 red drill is selling the yellow-green one for $80. Now, they're not the same tool, Don't let anybody tell you a Ryobi is a rebadged Milwaukee, because the guts genuinely differ. But the pricing gap between them is not all performance. A chunk of it is you paying for the tribe. What to do instead? If you swing a tool 40 hours a week for a paycheck, buy Milwaukee and don't look back. The durability pays for itself. If you're a homeowner using a drill 6 times a year, you are the person their margin is built on. Be honest about which one you are. Which brings us to Ryobi itself, the brand everyone loves to sneer at. Here's the thing. For a homeowner, Ryobi is genuinely decent value, and their ONE+ battery platform has stayed compatible all the way back to the 90s, which frankly embarrasses the premium brands that change battery designs like phone chargers. So, why is it on this list? Because Ryobi robs you a different way. They get you with volume, special buys, doorbusters, that big green wall at Home Depot, whispering that you need the cordless glue gun, the cordless fan, the cordless inflator, the cordless everything. I've walked into garages with 30 Ryobi tools and 4 working batteries. You didn't save money, you just spent it in smaller bites. Here's a pro tip. Pick the 5 tools you'll actually use, buy the biggest batteries you can, and skip the novelty attachments. A drill, an impact driver, a circular saw, an oscillating multi-tool, and a shop vac will get a homeowner through 90% of everything. Number 5, Kobalt. This one drives me nuts because most people don't even realize what it is. Kobalt isn't a tool company. It's Lowe's house label, and the actual tools are made by contract manufacturers, most notably Chervon over in China, the same outfit that builds several other store brands. Nothing wrong with Chervon. They make solid stuff. The problem is what happens down the road. House brands live and die by the retailer's mood. Kobalt has already changed battery platforms before, and when a store brand shifts direction, your batteries become paperweights and there's no independent company standing behind the ecosystem. Buying deep into a house brand platform is like building an addition on land you don't own. Fine until it isn't. What to do instead? Kobalt, hand tools, wrenches, sockets, screwdrivers. Buy them all day, no battery to orphan, and the warranty exchange at the register is easy. Kobalt cordless platform? I'd think twice before making it your main system. And now let's talk about the one that isn't robbing you. Klein Tools, founded in 1857, still owned by the Klein family, 5th and 6th generation, now running things out of Mansfield, Texas. And here's the part that matters. The vast majority of their tools are still made in the United States in their own plants, and instead of chasing cheap labor overseas, they've been pouring money, over $100 million in planned investment into bringing more production home. Pick up a pair of their Journeyman Lineman's pliers. That's American-forged steel, and electricians will use one pair for 20 years. Are they cheap? No. A Klein screwdriver costs more than the bargain bin one, but you're paying for the tool, not for a marketing department, not for a conglomerate's shareholders, not for a badge. When the price matches the product, that's not expensive. That's just honest. And in this industry, honest is the rarest feature on the shelf. So here's how this all shakes out. The tool aisle isn't divided into good brands and bad brands. It's divided into companies selling you tools and companies selling you a story about tools. Stanley Black & Decker sells you the same corporate parts bin at 3 different prices. TTI sells you a rivalry between 2 brands it owns both sides of. Lowe's sells you a label that could change underneath you next year. And one family business in Texas just keeps forging steel like it's still 1857. Because for them, it basically is. Tell me in the comments which platform you're already locked into, because I guarantee half of you found out today that your favorite brand and the brand you make fun of share a parent company. And look, don't go throw out your DeWalt. That's not the takeaway here. The takeaway is this: buy the tool, not the logo, match the brand to how hard you'll actually use it, buy batteries on promo or not at all, and when you want something that'll outlive you, Buy from the people who still make it themselves. Do that, and nobody's robbing you, no matter what color the box is. Hit like, subscribe, share this with someone standing in a tool aisle right now, confused out of their mind, and I'll catch you in the next one.